Hello everyone, my name's Ben, this is Emily. Welcome to our weekly little update. We thought it'd be nice to share weekly what's been going on in our household and our family. And it's fair to say that this week we've had a slightly different perspective, haven't we, on how this week's gone. So I've generally been quite enjoying myself. The time's gone pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's fair to say. How have you found things, darling?
Probably a little bit more up and down. I think I came into this week thinking, okay, another week, bracing myself and starting to find it a bit more of a slog and a little bit more challenging. Although we've had some really fun times too, haven't we? But yeah, I was just made me think that even between the two of us, in the same house, we've got very different challenges and different experiences. And that although in some ways we're all going through the same thing at the moment, aren't we? We're all in this together, and yet actually the challenges that we face will be very different depending on our circumstances, depending on our personalities. For some of you, I know you're perhaps living by yourself, and that's a real challenge to suddenly find that you can't spend time with people in the way that you normally would. For some, there's a challenge of actually living with your family and just having to be with them all the time, and that can be quite intense.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I thought you said you had a good week. You're all right. And for some of us, we're worried about those that we know that are a bit more vulnerable at this time. But the fact is that although we've all got different challenges, we are in it together, and we had a great time with our group last night, didn't we? Over Zoom, just talking about some of the challenges. The highlights we did first, although that was slightly shorter, but then we went on to challenges that we're facing, and just spent some time praying for each other. And it's so good to be able to share in that way, and it's great to be able to kind of carry each other's loads in prayer. And also we can come to God ourselves, can't we? And He knows everything that we're going through. And I was just really encouraged by a verse in Hebrews that JP actually preached from a couple of weeks ago in Hebrews 4. It says, "Let us then, with confidence, draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need." And that's what God's got for us. He says, come on, draw near to me. I've got grace for you. I've got help. He's with us. He wants to help us, and He knows everything that we're going through.
Yeah, it's true. And we as a church, we're trying to build in rhythms and routines into our life that are going to be healthy and helpful. So this week we are focusing in on prayer. I'm speaking on prayer on Sunday. And then next week we have got our first online prayer meeting together, where as many of us as possible, we're going to gather and we're going to pray, we're going to seek God, we're going to hopefully experience His power and His presence with us. This week I've been particularly inspired actually by the story of the Chilean miners from 10 years ago, and this was 33 guys stuck a kilometre underground for 69 days. And there were a couple of Christians amongst them when they were stuck there, and the Christians started a prayer meeting, and they started a time of worship with these guys. And over the 69 days, many of them came to faith. And many of them testified to the reality that they felt Jesus down with them. They felt God's presence with them down in the mine whilst they were totally isolated and cut off from the world. And my prayer for us as a church family is actually we know God's power and presence and peace and joy with us, even though we are isolated in our own little pockets around the city. Hopefully in slightly more comfortable conditions than the miners, but even still, we're isolated. So we're going to be praying into that this week. If you are particularly struggling, if you're finding things really tough at the moment, the pastoral helpline is open 7 days a week. I'm manning it today, and I'd love to talk to you if you've got any challenges, anything you want to speak through. But other than that, it's bye from us for now, and we hope you manage to meet with God and encounter Him, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.